What's going on, guys? I'm SimpleSimon and welcome to episode 2 of 1 Beer, 3 Comics. I'm not going to get into how this show works. If you want to know, check out the first episode. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. But I learned a lot of things from that first episode. Firstly, I went for too long. I talked too much. So I'm going to try to keep this episode under 10 minutes. The other thing I noticed was the angle I used for my second camera was not very flattering. It was looking up, you could tell how big my gut was, and if you weren't concentrating on the beer in the close-up shots, you were pretty much staring at my crotch. And I don't know if you noticed, but I noticed the next day that those jeans had a hole where my balls are. So with all that info out of the way, let's do this. Alright, so before I show you today's beer, I'm going to show you the first comic book. This first one is a beautiful Vampirella Dracula Rage cover. That's the title. Done by one of my favorite cover artists at the moment. She goes by the name of Selena, and she just does absolutely phenomenal work. So there's the cover there. Real photo-realistic. I first discovered her when she was doing some Red Sonja covers. But she does a lot of the covers for Dynamite, and yeah, I absolutely adore her work. Obviously, you guys know I'm a big fan of Carla Cohen. Selena's really taken over from Cohen at the moment. I really dig her stuff. She's got a lot of exclusives as well that I really want, but as my fellow Aussies know, exclusives are hard to get. But she's definitely got some out there that I really want to get my hands on. But I thought I'd open up with a beautiful, beautiful cover by Selena. Now today's beer is called Guava Glue. By 450 North Brewing Company. Now, I've actually had a beer, a sour beer, from these guys before. In fact, the first craft sort of sour beer that I bought from the Bottle-O was from these guys, which actually gave me the idea for this show. Now, the first beer I had from these guys, I definitely questioned whether you can really call it a beer. The guy at the shop actually referred to it that it's more like a slushy. How can you call that a beer? So I'm expecting more of the same here. The other one was a really intense color as well. Slushy XXL, as you can see there on the can. So guava, I don't mind guava. It's not something I'd go out of my way for, but I've had guava juice before and it's okay. But if you guys watched the first episode, you'll know I'm mostly into the sours at the moment. Now I know I copped a little bit of shit last time for drinking sours, and it's just like, I can drink what I want. All right, now I haven't bought a beer glass for this show yet, so today's glass is once again brought to you by Captain Sorrow, and it is yet again another Powerpuff Girls glass for all you Powerpuff Girls guys. Sounds a bit weird. So yeah, this one you can see it's got a bit of wear and tear on there though, from the washing, so obviously it's a bit of a cheap glass, but that is what we're doing today. Let's do the pour. Now I'm gonna guess this color is gonna look absolutely, oh, we'll see. You know what? This color looks a little bit more beer-like, I would say. Look at that. Not really. I guess it's more beer-like than the last one I had from these guys, which was like literally like a beetrooty color. Ooh, this looks like it's gonna be good. So I don't know if you guys can tell on the camera, but it's got like, it looks like chunks, like slushy chunks in there. So definitely very different. And again, for those who gave me shit about drinking sours, I got to agree, I don't think you can call something like this a beer, right? But craft beer people call it a beer, so I'm calling it a beer and I'm drinking this. But before I do the taste test, second book. So the second book is actually a bit of a key issue, not a huge key, but it is a first appearance. It is Wonder Woman issue 90. I don't know what year this came out, but this is actually the first appearance of Artemis, who at one time did take over as Wonder Woman. Now the reason I wanted this book was because I have a little bit of a connection with Artemis. I actually have barely read any Wonder Woman, but I read a lot of Artemis when she was in Red Hood and the Outlaws. So I kind of had that connection with Artemis, and Red Hood kind of hooked up with her for a bit, you know, and then that kind of storyline just disappeared. Yeah, Artemis was a character I thought was kind of cool because of the Red Hood series and my love for Red Hood. So that is the first appearance of Artemis, and now we're gonna taste the beer. Cheers. Ooh. Interesting. Look at the, I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, but look at that. Look at the cloudiness and just the thickness of this beer. It's not, I don't know. Can you call it a beer? I don't know. Okay, interesting. The first one from these guys I had, I think the last one I had was a mixture of like dragon fruit and pink grapefruit or something like that. I thought that was a little bit better than this, so I don't actually know what I think of this. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't have that sour hit like the one I had last time, the double take. It's kind of a weird, I don't know. I don't know if I like that flavor. Now, of course, during round 2, I will be doing the comic book shout out. Now, this week's channel I'm gonna shout out is, to me, the original beer guy. And that has got to be my man, the GREYMAN. When I first started watching the GREYMAN, he actually had a show called Beer Guys, where him and his mate would try all these different beers and they'd talk about records and things like that. It was actually really cool. And back then I had no idea about beers. I still have no idea about beers, but it was really fun to watch those two interact while drinking their warm beers. I know they're not warm, but they're room temperature, which is kind of weird. I like a frosty beer, but GREYMAN, one of my besties in the community. I really hate that we don't hang out as much as we could or should. Excuse me. Kind of tastes a bit like bubblegum, this drink. But yeah, GREYMAN's the man. He's been around for a long time. He used to make tons of videos and now he's slowed down a bit. But I wanted to give a big shout out to my mate, the GREYMAN, because he's definitely a beer guy. You might notice the trend with these shout outs. Anyway, cheers. Of course, there'll be a link to GREYMAN's channel in the description below. Alright, so the last comic book. Last time I showed you a bondage cover as the last book because I collect bondage covers, as some of you may know. But something else you guys might know that I collect is Kiss covers. So I thought I'd end today's episode with a Kiss cover and then let you know what I thought of the beer. This is Betty's Diary, issue number 19. I don't know a lot about Archie and stuff. I absolutely love their covers though. And this is a cool little Kiss cover. Absolutely love it. Actually, let's read the bubble first. Let's do a GREYMAN. Dear Diary, our diving trip was a huge success. Veronica and I both found what we were looking for. I didn't actually notice that Veronica's at the bottom there. With the treasure, and then the kisses. Wait, Betty and Veronica. I don't even know which is which. I think Betty's the brunette, right? Let me know in the comments if you know. But really, really cute cover. I don't even know where I got this. It was $3, but absolutely love that. There's actually another book which is very similar to this. A recent title called, I think it's like Once Upon a Time at the End of the Earth or something like that. There's a cover where they kiss wearing like snorkel type things. So very, very, very cool, cute cover there. All right. So this beer, where's the can? I made a mistake. The can should always be here at all times. I'm trying to promote the beer. What did I think of this beer? I didn't think much of it, to be honest. It didn't taste terrible. It just didn't give me that... The reason I like sours for some reason is I really like that sour hit. It really is sour. And I've had 2 from these guys now and didn't quite have that sour hit that I was looking for. And it definitely wasn't not sour. But it kind of just had this other kind of flavor going to it. So I wasn't a huge fan of this. Now, the last episode's beer, which was Double Take, the blueberry one, that was much better than this, I think, personally. But just remember, that was a $20 can. This can cost $11.99, so a $12 can. But yeah, I'm not complaining. You know, I've had worse beers. I mean, I actually like VB. For those who know what VB is, I like VB. With this beer, as far as sours go, it wasn't really doing it for me. And that's it. That's my 3 comics. That is my 1 beer. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll always try to leave a link to the beer if you want more info on the brewing company. That'll always be in the description below, along with the channel that I shouted out. And I'll also leave a link to the first episode if you want to know how this all works. But I'm telling you, I didn't look great in that first episode. If you guys are still watching though, I appreciate you. Make sure you hit the thumbs up on the way out, leave a comment. Until next time, I'm SimpleSimon. Tell your friends and keep it simple.